Let's take a look at this young lady in the circle, Breed lead. She is a freshman, Sophie Dandola.
Yeah, Sophie, she comes in here 1.84 ERA, a 16-5 win-loss record in 32 appearances throughout the season. She struck out 65 batters, only walked 28 of those, only giving up 8 home runs, and batters are only hitting .218 against her.
She did throw here in yesterday's matchup with the Dukes of James Madison. So she does have some of this CAA tournament experience overall.
Yeah, Dandola named 3-time Rookie of the Week, 2-time Pitcher of the Week, so she garnered 5 different weekly award honors throughout this season.
And what she has done thus far in this tournament, she has worked 2 games. She is 1-0, worked 6 2/3 innings, 7 hits, 4 runs, all earned, walked 4, and struck out 1. So her ERA is actually 5.4. And Morgan Toll will lead off for James Madison. Morgan really ripping the cover off the ball. She was 4 for 4 last night, including a grand slam in the 14-run first inning that did establish a JMU single inning record. She has 18 home runs, 55 RBIs.
Yeah, Morgan Toll having an outstanding tournament, 8 hits and 11 at-bats. She's got 2 doubles, 2 home runs, 9 RBIs. As she gets hit by a pitch there and takes first base. Dukes have their first base runner aboard.
Dandola trying to brush her back off the plate, come inside and jam Morgan Toll, who takes one off the knee. She is hit by a pitch for the first time this season. Sarah Jubas also having a great conclusion to the regular season and into the postseason. Batting at .305, her numbers have been up on the rise, and she'll try to bunt one down, just as she did in yesterday's contest, and fouls it off for strike 1.
Yeah, Sarah Jubas, she got Rookie of the Week the final 2 weeks of the season, having outstanding series against Hofstra and Drexel. Coming into this tournament, she's 7 hits on 10 at-bats. She's got a double and an RBI.
The 0-1 from Dandola, and that is down the third base line, and it ends up in foul territory. So 0-2. It's Dandola and Musa. Alaka at first base, Transue at second, Hallam the shortstop, Paterno is at third. Then you find Michalowski in left field, Scarpato in center field, and Brielle Petrofessa in right field. 0-2 to Jubas on the all-rookie squad here in 2018. 0-2 the count against the JMU freshman. She's the only freshman offensive player in the lineup. And she'll loop it over the first baseman's head. Toll had to be careful. She'll have to hustle to second base, as she did not know. And they're going to ask for an obstruction, it looks like, as Alaka has gone in, and they're going to get together, the 3 umpires, to talk about this. And maybe we can take a look at it ourselves, as Larissa Anderson, the head coach of the Hofstra Pride, she's going to come out and plead her case on this. Was there an offensive obstruction for JMU's Morgan Toll? Here it is, just an inside swing, and trying to get back to the bag was Toll, so I think you can argue it either way.
Yeah, Toll not doing anything on purpose, but she had taken that lead, tried to get back out of the way.
Well, this is not good for James Madison, as the trio go over to talk to JMU's head coach LOREN LAPORTE in her first season, the CAA Coach of the Year.
Say if you're Hofstra and they do get this call, this is such a lucky break for them. JMU really dangerous top of the order, getting those first runners on base. And Morgan Toll is called out. That's going to give Hofstra a really good break here, as she's sent back to the dugout, 1 out. JMU did have 2 runners on, 1 in scoring position, but now just Jubas over on first base.
That's just an unfortunate circumstance, as oftentimes an interference is. It's just 2 bodies at the same spot at the same time, when I'm not sure in that case who actually has the right-of-way, but apparently it's the defensive player. I'm not sure how they determine that, but that is the case. Here's Kate Gordon, sophomore, all-CA first-teamer. She slapped a 3-run homer out of the park here last night. And Gordon with a .416 batting average, 1 hopper to the shortstop for one. The relay not in time as Jubas goes in hard to second base. So reaching on the fielder's choice is Gordon, but there are two away. And the first baseman, KIERSTIN ROADCAP, a sophomore, batting at .261 with 5 home runs and 25 RBIs, steps in from the right side for JMU. That is inside, ball 1 to ROADCAP.
ROADCAP, she was gone 2 for 7 in this tournament. She does have a home run and an RBI. She has been walked twice and hit by a pitch once as well, so finding multiple ways to get on base.
And a called strike. 1-1 to ROADCAP. And the pitch swung on, ground ball foul, the bag at third. These two programs met last year in this very same game. Madison was the unbeaten and won in the run rule fashion. JMU went on from there to Baylor for the regionals, and a lot of folks were shocked that Madison did not get an opening round tournament host site. They expect if they make it to the regionals this year, the Dukes will travel. 2 balls and 2 strikes for Hofstra. Not sure what their situation is, whether they feel like they have a chance to host or that they will hit the road again, but Hofstra certainly with a lot of experience over the years in the NCAAs.
Yeah, Hofstra, they do have a 22 ranking in the RPI. So they are up there, getting close to that where they could possibly host.
I think this is, not the pun, but this is for a matter of pride between these two programs, as both just want to win the CAA title and let the rest of it take care of itself. Base knock into left field off the bat of ROADCAP, who seemingly is warming up as the tournament moves along.
And that's what you want to see, and this is good news for JMU coming into this game, realizing their bats are going just in the first inning alone. They just need to keep stringing hits together. They do have 2 outs, looking for a little 2-out rally, but they do have Odyssey Alexander coming to the plate. Definitely someone that you would look to in this situation.
Alexander, the pitcher, coming into this afternoon's contest, the sophomore CAA Player of the Year, .383 at the plate with 15 home runs, 53 RBIs. She too homered here last night, picking up her 15th of the year.
Yeah, she has 2 homers this weekend just alone. She's gone 3 for 10 and picked up 6 RBIs.
Alexander with 53 RBIs on the year, and cut on inside. Nice pitch delivered by Dandola. There's Coach LAPORTE, the CAA Coach of the Year in her first season, taking over from Mickey Dean, who's now the coach at Auburn, and that's a hit batter, so the bases are loaded with James Madison players.
Say that ball definitely ricocheted really weirdly off. It had to have hit her at somewhere on her body.
And Coach Larissa Anderson is coming out. Take a look at just where does it hit her. Looked like it hit the back foot actually, as it just dipped in, and Alexander did not move at all.
Yeah, and that's what caused it to ricochet in off the catcher's arm, then way back up into the backstop.
So Jessica MROZEK comes up next. MROZEK, a senior from Chicago, Illinois, .269, 5 home runs and 22 runs driven home. She's up there with the bases loaded. And Dandola drops in a strike right down Broadway, 0-1.
MROZEK hitting 125 with the bases loaded, but .333 with 2 outs. She's 2 for 6 in this tournament, had a great hustling double in yesterday's games.
1-1. Bases filled with Dukes. And the ground ball to third. PATIERNO with an easy play in the force out of ROADCAP at third base for the final out of the inning. So in the first for the James Madison Dukes, they do load the bases, getting a couple of hits out of it as well. And 3 runners left on base. After a half inning of play, it is James Madison 0 and the pride of Hofstra coming to bat here on Sports Live. Well, the Hofstra Pride yesterday, 3 home runs socked out of the ballpark to beat James Madison here 9-6. As it was a back and forth affair, the Dukes tried to match, but they were no match for the 3 homers yesterday for the Hofstra Pride. So they're into this ball game. And the first pitch is in there for a called strike to Kristen Hallam. And for the Dukes, it is the CAA Player of the Year, Odyssey Alexander, in the circle.
Kristen Hallam, she's gone 2 for 8 in the tournament. She does have 1 RBI and has walked once.
Foul at the plate. Actually, Samuel, the catcher for Madison, just couldn't quite hang on. 0-2 was Hallam asking for an interference. Quick question there. This time she slaps it right back to Odyssey Alexander. Alexander and Toll had a collision on a ball hit on a bunted ball yesterday, but both seem to be fine. They did remove Alexander from the circle soon afterwards. 1 out, and Brielle Petrofessa, a senior, 355, 13 home runs, 55 RBIs. And a called strike to Petrofessa. She has scored 5 runs in this tournament, so she has been a good table setter, as she is expected to be. Pops it up. This may be playable for Samuels, and she does come up with a catch.
Duke's doing a good job of making sure they make every single play in the field. This Hofstra team, you know, they're so difficult to beat, and especially getting through this top of the lineup, you're going to have to take it 1 out at a time, 1 pitch at a time, and Ashley Samuels, a great job tracking that one down and catching it behind her back. Yeah,
nearly right down the camera lens for you on that one. Here's Alaka, Brittany Alaka with a home run yesterday. First pitch in for a called strike. Alaka wielding the big bat with a .347 average, 13 home runs, 48 runs driven in. Hofstra beating Towson the first day, 9-4 to get into yesterday's winner's bracket game. There's Coach Anderson, took over for Bill Edwards, who had a tremendous career with the Pride. Really established this program as one of the best, particularly in the Northeast, but of course also has its national ramifications as well. I mean, it's just a very respectable program, and Madison, that just started its program back in 2002, 2001, 2002, has certainly learned that as a member of the league. And strike 3 called on Alaka.
Alexander doing such a great job out in the circle today. Almost all of her pitches were called strikes. You can tell that she's really on point, and she gets the strike out there.
It's 3 up, 3 down for the Pride in the first. No score after 1 here in our first, maybe the first of 2. We'll see here on Sports Live. Well, here last night, the Dukes took on the Charleston Cougars, and, well, they just blasted homer after homer. There's Kate Gordon, a 3-run shot, 3 batters in. Morgan Toll, in her second trip to the plate in the first inning, took her toll on things. And then Odyssey Alexander with a 2-run shot. That cleared the utility building in center field. And Natalie Cutright decided, I want to see a tournament home run as well, and she had a 2-run blast. 14 runs in the first. Back in 2016, the Dukes scored 12 runs in a game against Mount St. Mary's, and they were dancing in the stands last night. And That just meant, hey, we got another great ball game today between these two programs.
Yeah, Jamie, they're really going to need to bring those bats they had last night in College of Charleston's game to the game today. Hofstra's such a hot hitting team that JMU's going to need all the hits that they can get to try to keep up with the Hofstra Pride.
Natalie Cutright, a sophomore, playing in right field against the Pride, will ground it to the left side. Racing in, and the throw is low and safe is Cutright, as she will give the Dukes a leadoff base runner.
Cutright doing a good job of hustling down the line, running as fast as she can, and she just barely beats this out.
It looked like maybe she just did not have, Alaka had great security of the softball. And Madison Nyokis is up next for James Madison. And a called strike. By the way, Carrie Joseph is the home plate umpire. Mario Calabrese is at first base, and Tricia Trescott at third base. Nyokis batting at .215 with 4 home runs and 13 runs driven in. She's going to bunt it right back to the pitcher, who throws to second for 1. So the force out is there. You got to put it away from the pitcher. Make the first baseman or third baseman handle that softball. Nyokis reaching on a fielder's choice. So that will damage her batting average just a bit, but a fine defensive play. And that's one thing that Hofstra really has shown some great defense this week.
Hofstra is 7th in defensive nationally. They have a .978 fielding percentage, and they're the only team in this tournament who has yet to commit an error.
Ashley Samuel, senior catcher at the plate for Madison, .204, 5 home runs, 25 runs driven in. Mandola drops another one straight in. It's 0-2. Samuel's the number 9 hitter. Rocking and fire, Dandola misses the inside. Nice job by MUSA to adjust and keep the ball in play. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Ashley Samuel, she's gone 1 for 5 in the tournament. She has been walked 3 times, so finding her way on base multiple times.
Got jammed and fouls it off. Holding tight at 0-2. In the matchup yesterday, Hofstra 9 runs on 8 hits and no errors and left 8 on base. The Dukes 6 runs, 8 hits, committing 3 errors and left 7 runners stranded. It was Dandola as the winning pitcher. And in doing so, she upped her record to 16-5. Peyton Burish, a freshman for JMU and the Rookie of the Year, took the loss with 3 2/3 innings of relief of Alexander, as she slipped to 18-5. That's a nice looking pitch. Samuels is out. Two away for the Dukes in the second.
That brings up the top of the lineup for the Dukes. 2 outs. Morgan Toll.
Toll hit by a pitch to start this ball game off. Got called for the interference around first base. And one hopper to Paterno, who retired Toll at first base.
Hofstra with another inning, getting out of runners on a base situation. Able to keep this one scoreless at 0-0 heading into the bottom of the second.
And we'll be back with the bottom of the second after this on Sports Live. Sarah Edwards leads it off for the Hofstra Pride against Odyssey Alexander, top of the second, or bottom of the second, that is, a no score. And Edwards batting at .336 with 6 home runs and 30 runs driven in.
Edwards had a home run in the game yesterday against the Dukes. She's gone 1 for 7 in this tournament. She does have 3 RBIs and was walked once.
Yeah, the home runs by Alaka, Edwards, and Paterno. And a called strike. And the Pride took a 2-0 lead on the Alaka homer in the first. The Dukes got a 3-run blast from Odyssey Alexander. It was 3-2. Then another 3-run homer. This time it was for the Pride. And that one was popped out by Edwards. Dukes got 2 more in the bottom of the third on a 2-run double by Morgan Toll, and then another 3-run homer, and this time it was Paterno that proved to be the game winner. Dukes got a home run in the bottom of the 7th. That one coming from KIERSTIN ROADCAP. That was her 5th of the year. And a strike.
Full count for senior Sarah Edwards. She's first team All-CAA selection. She's reached base in 17 consecutive games.
Pops it up, back out of play. Beautiful day here yesterday. We had to deal with a little bit of rain in this matchup yesterday. In fact, it featured a delay of about an hour and 45 minutes. But that was the only delay that we had, fortunately, for the day. And that's down the line, but foul. Three balls and 2 strikes. And that's a base hit.
And that's going to extend Edwards' streak. She's going to get to 19 games. She was at her 18th game yesterday.
And that does lead off the second inning for the Hofstra Pride, as the Pride has its first base runner of the contest.
Looks like we're going to get a pinch runner. It's going to be Lydia Witkowski.
Witkowski, a redshirt junior, listed as an outfielder from Alpharetta, Georgia. So she'll run for the designated player, Sarah Edwards. Scarpato at the plate. The center fielder for Hofstra, batting at .320 with 8 home runs and 35 runs driven in. She squares to bunt. Toll will field. She'll throw to first, where it is covered by Nyokas, while Samuels goes down to cover third base. On the rotation for the Dukes defensively, successful sacrifice by Scarpato.
Both teams doing their job on that one. Scarpato, a perfect bunt, advancing the runner over to second into scoring position, and Morgan Toll doing her job defensively, getting that and getting an out at first and getting at least 1 out on the board.
NIKKI MICHALOWSKI batting at .280 with 8 home runs, 26 runs driven in. She turns on it and sends it well out of play for strike 1. Alexander in the circle for James Madison today. It's the Dukes 42-11, and she has 24 of those wins. She's 24-5 with a 2.09 ERA. Today's start is her 30th of the year and her 45th overall appearance. Brings it high, a ball and a strike. 203 strikeouts. Make it 204 with her strikeout back in the first.
Obviously Alexander taking over the primary pitching role on this Duke squad with the injury of Megan Good.
Swing and a miss for Michalowski. 1 and 2. Good went down with an injury during the offseason. And she is in rehab mode. And we do anticipate that she'll be playing for the Dukes next year. 1 ball and 2 strikes with a runner at second base. No score here in the bottom of the second. Pop back out of play. Once again, a good crowd is on hand here at Veterans Memorial Park. There you see folks, some of them were out there standing. They did not open the gates until about 11 o'clock for the noon start time. And some folks are very superstitious where they want to sit, very particular, and some will hustle on in here an hour ahead of time. Ball outside, 2 and 2. If you're just coming in for this one game today, it cost you $7, so not a bad championship price.
Watch 2 teams receiving votes, nationally ranked.
That foul tip on their foul ball, that is, on a check swing. 2 and 2. Just runs in on her. Looked like it hit the butt of the bat. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. High for ball 3. So back to back, full counts as the Hofstra Pride.
It's quite different from last inning. Hofstra Pride, you know, Odyssey Alexander only pitching less than 10 pitches last inning and getting batters out really quickly. Batters this inning taking her to full counts.
That's popped up, playable, and calling for it is Gordon. And she'll get it for the second out of the inning.
Gordon out in center field, Lascola out in left, both of them running in, calling for it, but it is Kate Gordon, the center fielder, who does call off Lascola. Watching here, Lascola, good job of backing off, just being there to back her up just in case, and Dukes easily get the out.
So 2 outs with a runner at second base. And Megan Paterno, a senior, 250 on the year, 9 home runs, 32 runs driven in. Pop back out of play. Yeah, for James Madison, they've had some injuries, particularly to the outfielders. So if all were healthy, we probably would not see the 2 corner outfielders out there right now for James Madison. So with that, of course, usually your center fielder has control of everything, but they've given even more control to Gordon. There's a called strike, saying, Kate, anything that you can get to it.
Yeah.
Megan Paterno at the plate.
JMU going through a lot of injuries this season all around the diamond, and you know, but the players that are getting that playing time, they are stepping up. Cutright, she's doing great in the batting lineup, and even in the outfield. They've rotated through a couple different players in Noonan and Lascola out there in the outfield, but they are getting the job done.
1 ball and 2 strikes as Paterno with the sharp eye on the delivery from Alexander. Odyssey rocks and fires. It's a little bit low, 2-2. Alexander and Samuels, ROADCAP at first, Nyokas at second, Jubas the shortstop, and Toll at third. Lascola in left field, Gordon at center, and Cutright in right. Odyssey Alexander, sophomore from Boynton, Virginia, delivers, and it's fouled off by Paterno.
Paterno moved into the program for Hofstra in their top 10 for home runs with 28 in her career. She's got 9 this season, including the one from yesterday.
(2-2), another deep count. Popped up, and calling for it is Samuels. Although I thought that ROADCAP was trying to call her off, but Ashley says, look, I got all the gear, I'm going to take over here. So they do get a leadoff single from Edwards, and they advance her on a sacrifice, but she's stranded there. After 2 full, it's 0-0. James Madison and Hofstra here on Sports Live. CAA Championships, some of the Hillsiders here in Harrisonburg off of Route 42. And there's Dandola. Both these teams have a lot of similarities. Power hitting clubs, both have set single season home run records, and both have sophomore freshmen 1-2 pitching punches.
Yeah, both have pitchers that work really well in tandem, especially the Hofstra Pride. Dandola.
This is Jubas to left field, going deep, and it's dropped on the line, or on the warning track, I should say, and sliding into second base is Jubas, as James Madison, for the 3rd consecutive inning, has a leadoff runner aboard.
Great hit there by Jubas. You can see it all the way back to the warning track, almost over the wall. And she does get a double out of that one. But as I was saying, Dandola, she likes that drop pitch, and Sarah Cornell, she likes the rise pitch. So they work really well together, really good, especially coming in after one another in a game, you know, switching up on batters and making them switch their approach to the plate.
Kate Gordon swings at it, center field. She didn't get all of that one. And so one center fielder flies out to the other for the first out in the top of the third. One down, and Jubis actually there will score this, as I thought they may, as a fielding error on the left fielder. It was definitely in the mitt of Michalowski. A catchable ball. She just dropped it trying to squeeze it.
Yeah, a very rare thing you see for this Hofstra Pride is an error. Their first error of the tournament, and JMU has to be able to take advantage of it right here if they want to put some runs up.
ROADCAP single last time up. Takes that pitch for a strike. KIERSTIN started as a catcher for the Dukes last year, but has gone to first base this year, opening the way for Samuels to be behind the plate for much of the year for JMU. And she takes an offering inside. Slow roller to short, and up with it is Hallam for the putout. And advancing over is Jubis, and she could see the play all the way in front of her. That was a pretty good read by Jubis to take third base.
Yeah, Jubis has the speed as well, and I think she knows that. She had a sizable lead. She realized there was a slower rolling ball to the shortstop, and she knew she would have enough time to get to third and got over, and the Dukes have a runner scoring position.
They do, but there are two outs, and Alice Alexander was hit by a pitch on the back foot last time up. This time she'll bat it off the glove of the pitcher to the shortstop. Halliman safe at first base is Alexander, and Madison breaks out on top as Jubis scores an unearned run, and it's JMU 1-0 in the top of the third. Alexander picking up the RBI, and for Odyssey, that is RBI number 54.
If you're the Dukes, you have to be feeling good right now. You've got to win two to win this championship, and coming out on top, scoring the first run of the game, you've got to be feeling good.
That goes down as a base hit as it was caromed off the pitcher. And MROZEK, who reached on a fielder's choice, is up with two outs, and Alexander at first base. So a hit and an error in the inning produces the run. Fouled back, 0-2 for MROZEK. MROZEK here 2 years ago, delivering the walk-off base hit in the Super Regional against LSU. That'll be always remembered in the history books of James Madison, certainly, and she cuts on that and misses for strike three.
And the Hofstra Pride managed to get out of this one, but damage has been done. JMU scores the first run of the game, taking the 1-0 advantage heading to the bottom of the third.
An unearned run scored by the Dukes. We'll be back with the Hofstra third inning here on Sports Live. Beautiful day here in Harrisonburg, Virginia. I'm Kurt Dudley along with Bree Leach going to the bottom of the third. JMU breaking out on top 1-0 over the Hofstra Pride. Odyssey Alexander got the RBI. Will face MUSA, the catcher, swinging and missing for strike one. KAITLYNE MUSA, a senior, 277, one home run, 18 runs driven in. I was talking about the home runs and the sophomore freshman pitching combinations that both these teams have are very similar. The biggest difference is that Hofstra, a very senior-laden team.
Yeah, we saw it. It's really strong in the Hofstra-Towson matchup, but Hofstra, so many seniors on this roster, and that's primarily why they have so many people on the first and second teams getting those postseason awards because of their experience in Hofstra. They've worked up to their record this year and the resume that they've built because of the seniors on this roster, and they're going to be missed greatly next year.
One ball and two strikes. That's bounced in. Count evens at 2-2. MUSA wearing number 8, hits number 8 in the order.
This weekend she's gone 1 for 6. She does have an RBI and a walk. Time
called is Ashley Samuels. We'll stroll on out there. The two Virginians do meet. And MUSA going back into the circle, or excuse me, into the batter's box. MUSA from Miami, Florida. And that's hit down the left field line. It's going to drop in for a base hit. MUSA will stop at first. Sidney Lascola getting over to cut it off to keep it to a single. Both teams been pretty good thus far at getting the lead batter on base. Dukes are 3 out of 3 in the Pride with that base hit. 2 out of 3. MICHAELA TRANSUE, another senior, 260, 1 home run, 15 runs driven in. She has had some great defensive plays at second base, showing range and good hands throughout the week. Of course, the Pride has only played, they got the smallest sample thus far, just the 2 games, as the Pride in the driver's seat. And a strike, 0-2.
Say if you're JMU, you want to be watching MUSA over on first base. She is only 1 for 1 on the season in stolen base attempts. She really doesn't steal that often, but down 1-0 in a championship game, look for them to maybe be a little more aggressive on the base running path.
Swung on and strike 3. TRANSUE fooled on the pitch. She may have tweaked a little bit on that too as she hobbles back to the dugout.
With a little bit of an awkward swing there, you can see here she kind of just twists her body in an awkward position there. She rolled her back ankle. You saw that. She goes to the dugout limping a little bit.
Strikeout number 2 on the day for Alexander, number 205 on the year. And back to the top of the order. Hallam trying to sneak one in. 1 out in the inning.
Kristen Hallam grounded out to Alexander, her first at bat.
This is not the only Hofstra JMU encounter going on right now. In fact, up in Hempstead, New York, these two programs, these schools playing each other in baseball in the CAA, regular season play.
I was going to say, I opened up JMU Hofstra, the stats, looked down, realized it was baseball.
I had done the same thing. I'm like, wait a minute, where is that play? And then I realized, no play. I'm reading it and realized, oop, it's the wrong. I honestly thought that game was at 3:30 this afternoon.
Yeah, I looked down, I said, that's not our pitcher. It's like Hofstra's women's soccer team made the journey down here to watch the softball team in their CAA tournament.
0-2 to Hallam.
Get a little Duke supporting Dukes, get some Pride supporting Pride.
Popped up, calling for it is Jubas. She's in foul territory for the second out. 2 away in the bottom of the third. I did see a couple of James Madison men's basketball players here. Brielle Petrofessa, the senior with 13 home runs and the 55 RBIs. Pops it back out of play. Petrofessa in the regular season finale, or the series finale a couple of weeks ago here, had a big double in the top of the 11th, or the 10th that is, that broke the tie.
This JMU men's basketball team, I think they're right underneath us.
Are they?
Standing up against the backstop.
But she had a double that gave the Pride an 8-6 lead, but Madison came up with 2 runs to tie, then a 3-run homer to win it from KIERSTIN ROADCAP in the final game of that series. That was the 5th consecutive win in the series, which Hofstra holds the overall lead. It's a close pitch, but not close enough. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Yeah, Petrofessa having a really good tournament, finding different ways to get on base. She is only 1 for 5 at bats, but she does have 4 walks, so really helping her team out in that capacity.
Hofstra leading the series 39-22, and in CAA games, tournament games, 10-6. And that's Lash, but foul the bag, 1 and 2.
Say Petrofessa, she's scored 5 runs in the CAA tournament. That's the most of any Hofstra player, and 5 of their 18 scored throughout the last 2 games.
Morgan Toll of Madison has scored 6 runs to lead the tournament. She's had an extra game to do it. She scored twice in the first inning alone last night. Swung on and missed. The strikeout of Petrofessa, 2nd of the inning, 3rd of the game.
Here, Alexander, you've got to be feeling really confident now. 3rd strikeout, 3 innings, you're taking them down. Just a few base runners. Still scoreless here after 3 for the Hofstra Pride. JMU leads 1-0.
After 3 innings, the Dukes 1 run, 4 hits, no errors. The Pride, no runs, 2 hits, and 1 error. Here on Sports Live, glad that you're joining us live from Harrisonburg, Virginia. We're at Veterans Memorial Park. The facility opened up in 2010, named in honor of those men and women from the city of Harrisonburg and surrounding Rockingham County who served and lost their lives in foreign conflicts since World War I. There's a memorial just as you come into the facility here in Harrisonburg. First pitch swinging is Natalie Cutright, who singled first time up.
Cutright, one of those players who's getting that playing time and making the most of it, especially here in the tournament. She's 2 for 6. She has 1 homer and 2 RBIs. She's been walked 3 times, hit by a pitch once, and she scored 3 runs for the Dukes so far.
Out of Dover, PA, pops it up on the infield. Calling for it is Paterno as she rolls into the circle. 1 up, 1 down in the 4th.
Brings up Madison Nyokis. Nyokis grounded into a fielder's choice back in the 2nd inning.
That says she tried to bunt and sacrifice Cutright to second base, but she bunted it right back to Dandola, who rocketed a pitch, or a throw that is, to second base, and for a strike in the out. Here she rockets one in for another strike, 0-1.
Throughout the tournament, Nyokis, she's reached base 3 times, all being hit by a pitch, and scoring all 3 times she's reached base.
And she came into the tournament unscathed without being hit by a pitch the entire year, and in each game. In fact, one of them she got drilled right between the shoulder blades. It was a big thump. And she proceeded on down to first base, and obviously she was fine. She came around and scored. Grounds this one to the 3rd baseman. Paterno up, and the strong throw.
Say this game a little different than the games we're used to seeing between these 2 teams. Lots of long balls, power hitting, high scoring games. 45 runs between the 2 in their first series alone. Today only 1 run, and we're in the 4th inning already.
Ashley Samuel struck out in the 2nd. The JMU senior catcher swings and fouls it back out of play. Double elimination tournament. Again, a Hofstra in the driver's seat. Hofstra just has to win 1 today. If you get to that championship, that winner's bracket game on Thursday, basically what you have to do is win a series. You know, because usually it's that team that you beat is going to come back and play you again. That's well struck, and it's off the base of the wall for Samuels. That's just a long single.
I was going to say that was a really hard hit line drive to center field. If it had been more of a blooper, she probably would have gotten the double out of it. But because of how hard it was hit, you can see here that just went straight back over the center fielder's head off the wall. And she's able to get a single out of that one, giving the Dukes a base runner here in the top of the 4th with 2 outs.
It's key that Samuels gets on with 2 outs, because if you bring up Toll, well, she's got 18 home runs. And we've seen it come into play, and she's going to sock it into left field for a base hit. Samuels will stop at second base, and so Morgan Toll has her 261st career hit. And that brings her 3 shy of Erica Field, who finished as the JMU record holder with 264 back 2 seasons ago.
Crowd in the stands really getting into this one. Morgenthau talked about how the crowd really helps her out in situations like this, and you know, crowd really excited after Ashley Samuels gets a hit, and then she comes up to bat. They're really excited for her, and she gets a hit right after that, giving JMU 2 hits and possibly the start of a 2-out rally.
Sarah Jubas has been on twice. She did single in the first on the play in which Toll was called for an interference, and then reached on a fielding error by Michalowski in left field, the only error that the Pride has committed this weekend. Jubas, strike one.
So yeah, JMU, they were able to do and get in these situations yesterday against the Pride, but the Pride defense was too great for JMU, making absolutely phenomenal plays all over the field, like they do right there to get the 3rd out and get out of the inning.
Yeah, Transue very good at second base, steady hands, and she will squander the 2-out rally by spearing that hopper off the bat of Jubas. In the 4th for Madison, no runs, a couple of 2-out hits. Both are stranded. We go to the home half of inning number 4, and the Pride trailing James Madison 1-0 here in the CAA championship game on Sports Live. There is the CAA pitcher of the year, Sarah Cornell, who is not hurling in this contest. She did start yesterday against James Madison, but was relieved in the second.
I was going to say, throughout the tournament, I've actually been watching Cornell, and she seems to really be an energizer for this Hofstra team. Always the first player out of the dugout, congratulating her teammates. Really excited.
That'll excite the Hofstra fans, and kiss that one goodbye. Into the stands, Alaka with her 2nd home run against the Dukes in as many days, as she touches them all for the 14th time this year. We're tied at 1-1.
Alaka, her 2nd home run of the weekend, both coming against the Dukes, and she ties this one up at 1-1.
She had the 2-run homer in the 1st inning yesterday.
Say she hit that right into the Hofstra women's soccer team out in the stands, and boy, were they excited.
I'm surprised they didn't kick it back in. What the opportunity there was. They came in with cone heads on. How about that? I mean, street cones I'm talking about. So 1-1, we are tied up. And Sarah Edwards she has 6 homers this year. Sends that one back out of play for strike one. Edwards with a single. First time up. That was the 3rd hit by the Pride as well. That's well struck into right center field as Gordon was shaded over towards left. Here comes the throw, and out at second base.
Gordon, known for doing that so much this year, she throws a rocket into Nyokas. Nyokas able to turn around and apply the tag and avoid another base runner for the Hofstra Pride, and giving them their 1st out of the inning.
Take a look at it once again here. Takes it off to Karam. Here comes the runner. She downshifted a little bit there, and she just did not quite get to the bag. But that's back-to-back base hits for the Pride. Scarpato with a sac bunt first time up, so officially she is 0 for 0. 1 strike to the Pride center fielder. Right back up the middle, make it 3 consecutive hits. That makes that throw to second base even a bigger deal for JMU's defense. Otherwise, you might be looking at a 2-1 Hofstra lead.
Yeah, Hofstra looking to really break out this inning. They're coming 3 straight hits, and that's through the toughest part of the lineup, and they're still not done yet. They've got 4 seniors in a row coming up, so lots of experience, especially here with NIKKI Michalowski.
Michalowski sends one to left field and change the score again. A 3-run homer, or make it a 2-run homer for Michalowski, makes it a 3-1 game.
And Hofstra fans took advantage of that when they threw that one back into the diamond, and left fielder's got to come get that. Hofstra has to be really excited now, taking the 3-1 lead here in the bottom of the 4th.
Michalowski, her 9th charge of the year. Add 2 more RBIs to her total for 28. And the Pride in the 4th with the 3-1 advantage. And for the Pride, that is home run number 2 of the inning. Home run number 67 on the year. And with every home run the Pride hits, it is a single season Hofstra record. Heads up in the JMU dugout.
Brings up Megan Paterno, third baseman, senior, batting at a .248. She fouled out back in the 2nd inning.
Pitch high, a ball and a strike. 4 consecutive hits for the Hofstra Pride. Alaka, Edwards, Scarpato, Michalowski. There is an out there, however. One ball and 2 strikes. Fouled off.
Paterno, she's got 34 hits on the season and 137 at-bats, 26 runs scored, 32 RBIs. She's been walked 18 times, homered 9.
It's up high. 2-2. Skied, but I think this will stay in the ballpark. LaScala gets underneath it.
And that's good for the 2nd out of the inning. JMU doing a good job keeping base runners off the bases, bringing up KAITLYNE MUSA.
MUSA with a single to lead off the 3rd, but she got no further than first base. As Alexander got a couple of strikeouts in the inning to keep the Pride at bay. Opposite field, and Cutright will come across, and she'll make the catch in stride.
Cutright took a great angle on that one, able to get the 3rd out easily, but not before Hofstra Pride come in and do their damage, and they take a 3-1 lead off of 2 home runs here in the bottom of the 4th inning.
It's 3 runs off 4 hits, no errors, and nobody left on base through 4, 3-1 Hofstra. Couple of home runs. Alaka with the leadoff homer. Michalowski follows later in the frame with a 2-run blast, and Hofstra with a 3-1 lead. 4 hits in the inning. They were in successive order. We go to the top of the 5th inning. Kate Gordon leads it off for JMU. It's Gordon, ROADCAP, Alexander against Dondola.
Middle part of the Dukes lineup, who you want up at the plate right now, try to get some of those runs back.
Gordon reaching on a fielder's choice in the 1st and flew out to center field in the 3rd. Didn't get a real good cut, but still sent the ball some distance. On the fly ball to center. 2-0. Gordon with a dozen home runs and 47 runs driven and 18 doubles.
He's tied for 16th in the nation with those 18 doubles.
She's way up in the count. That's 3-0. Here in Harrisonburg, CAA softball tournament, CAA baseball tournament begins here in less than 2 weeks. Actually, it is a little more than 2 weeks, I should say.
And that's the first strike for Kate Gordon. Count 3-1.
Six of the 9 baseball teams will be here for that double elimination tournament. And a line drive. Paterno, she's been kind of routine at that the last couple of days.
Yeah, she's really locked down that hot corner there at third base, showing just why the Hofstra Pride's defense is ranked 7th in the nation.
KIERSTIN ROADCAP 1 for 2. Singled in the first, grounded out to short in the third. This is not the only tournament going on here on the James Madison campus this weekend, as ROADCAP like that high pitch and sails it back out of play. The NCAA lacrosse tournament for women begins today as sites around the country, and James Madison, the number 3 seed, with a bye today, but hosting the Virginia Cavaliers and the Stanford Cardinal. Winner of that game, which is tonight at 6 o'clock, plays at noon against James Madison, which, like this Hofstra softball team, is very senior laden. And that matchup is noon over at Centera Park on the Madison campus. 1 ball, 1 strike. And that hurt the ROADCAP a bit. That will sting. Ball and 2 strikes.
Dandola only giving up 6 hits today, 1 run. She does have 2 strikeouts over 21 batters faced.
Fouls it off, does ROADCAP, the product of nearby Turner Ashby High School, one of the better softball programs in the Commonwealth of Virginia. Dukes have done very well with mining the top local talent in softball over the last several years.
Lots of local kids on the Duke squad, Kate Gordon and ROADCAP, 2 of them.
Even Megan Good, she's from Fort Defiance, which is a county south here in Augusta County. Count holds, 1 ball and 2 strikes. And she'll loft it into left field, drops it in. ROADCAP's going to try to stretch this one to a double, and she does.
ROADCAP with a double here, 1 out in the top of the top of the 5th inning. Top of the 5th, they are visitors today. Great start for the Dukes. They're going to need to start a rally here. They want to get some runs back. They're closing in on the final 3 innings of this game, and they're going to need to put some up on the board if they want to try to force a second game in this championship.
Odyssey Alexander makes her 3rd trip to the batter's box. She was hit by a pitch on a 1-1 count in the first, and then took one off that back foot for the hit by pitch, and then sharply hit one off the glove of Dandola. Dandola almost came up with the softball. It caromed over towards Halleman short, but Alexander beat it out, and Juba scored an unearned run. And that is a jam shot on Alexander. 15 home runs for the CAA Player of the Year. Missing inside just so slightly, 1 ball and 1 strike. That double for Alexander, her 9th of the year, to go with her 15 home runs. Dandola delivers, and way out in front is Alexander. She turns on it, nearly hits it behind her by the time it was all said and done.
Say both teams doing a really good job of fouling off pitches that they don't like, sitting back, waiting, and really waiting for the pitch that they want. And if they don't like it but it's close, they do end up swinging and fouling it off. But JMU doing a good job. Alexander, one of those, doing that right now.
And she takes the pitch low. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Thought she might have to fight that one off, but she has the good eye. 2-2, and the rookie in the center brings it on. That's a ground ball, foul the bag at third. Alexander from Boynton, Virginia, in her sophomore season, was the Rookie of the Year in the CAA last year, doing much the same as she is this year. A lot of pitching, a lot of hitting. We'll say Peyton Burrish is to the Dukes this year as Alexander was to the Dukes last year. And she cuts on a high one and strikes through it for the third strikeout of the at-bat and the second out of the inning.
Going to bring up Jessica MROZEK. MROZEK struck out back in the third inning and ran into a fielder's choice back in the first.
Runner at second base in ROADCAP. Hofstra out in front in the fifth, 3-1. And a rapidly moving ball game. Time is called. This game just a little over an hour old. And we are in the fifth inning. Carrie Joseph breaks it up. The umpires do not give them a lot of time to chit-chat. No gossiping out there. Get to the business.
You know, they want to keep the game moving along as quickly as possible.
And a called strike. Both teams feel like they've got a chance, and I would back this, at getting into the NCAA tournament. The selection show is Sunday night at 10 on ESPN2. They've got some coast-to-coast action to finish up on Sunday. Ground ball hit to the third base side, and the long throw. Big play by Hallam. MROZEK could not beat it out. And that leaves a runner stranded. Going to the home half of the fifth, Hofstra looks to build on a 3-1 lead when we return on Sports Live. Welcome back. 3-1, Hofstra with the lead. Peyton Burrish, you just saw she is the Rookie of the Year. Well, there she is in person, real life, as she has moved into the circle.
Yeah, she takes over for Odyssey Alexander. She comes in with a 1.52 ERA, 18-5 win-loss record. That fifth loss was yesterday against the Hofstra Pride. In her 36 appearances, she's pitched 147 innings throughout the season, 89 strikeouts, 46 walks on the season, only giving up 8 home runs, and batters hit just .225 against her.
It's the number 9 hitter, so TRANSUE is up and then the top of the order. So not uncommon to see a change happening about this stage of the ball game, because now you're going to face the top of the order for a third time. And oftentimes by that third time, you'll see good offenses really starting to gauge. Even a pitcher that they've seen countless times, but even from game to game, the pitcher can be a little different.
Yeah, JMU Odyssey, more of a strikeout pitcher, and Burrish more of a contact pitcher. You see there already got a foul ball down the left field line, but Burrish making her defense do more work when they're in the field than Odyssey Alexander, who does strike out a lot more batters.
Drop ball pitcher is Burrish. She hails from Downers Grove, Illinois, in the Chicago area. Works from that third base side. She starts it off, and then by the time she launches, she's right there in the center of it all. So 1 ball, 1 strike. Hofstra getting its 3 runs in the fourth on a couple of home runs. Changeup is in there. 1 and 2.
TRANSUE struck out back in the third. She had that awkward looking swing where she did end up rolling her ankle on that strikeout.
That's sent to right field. Deep it goes, and playable though for Cutright and right. Didn't have quite the carry that I thought it did right off the bat.
Yeah, JMU caught a lucky break on that one. I thought that one was out of here, but Cutright fouled that back to the warning track and was able to put one away for the Dukes here in the bottom of the fifth.
Hallam makes her third trip to the batter's box, stepping in from the left side, grounded back to the pitcher, and popped up to the shortstop. First pitch is in there for a strike. It's 0-1. Barish looking into the JMU dugout. Samuels will stand up. Of course, Hallam can slap at it. A bunting threat as well, and she'll pound it right back through the middle.
And the Hofstra Pride have another runner aboard. Getting a runner aboard in every inning so far.
That was excellent bat control for Hallam. Made the great defensive play, showing the strength of her arm in the top half of the inning, and bringing up Petra Fessa for the third time, and she's 0 for 2 thus far. Fastball in there for a strike.
Petra Fessa fouled out and struck out in this ball game. She's batting at a .351, however. .359 with runners on base. She's got 59 hits throughout the year, 55 RBIs.
0-2 as she sends that one into the screen. Both teams with 7 hits, but the big fly has helped Hofstra to the 3-1 advantage. Meanwhile, Dandola has yet to yield an earned run today, despite the 7 hits. That's well struck and popped into shallow center field off the end of the bat. Back-to-back base hits.
Hofstra breaking out in back-to-back innings. A really quiet first 3 innings for the Pride, but their bats are really starting to come alive, and this is where you're seeing it, stringing hits together, and eventually they hit those long balls and they're able to score everyone on base.
Alaka back up there again, where she hit the home run to lead off the 4th. Pops that back out of play, 0-1. Again, sending one high into the sky and out of here. Her 2nd home run of the game, 3rd of the tournament.
She extends the Pride's lead up 6-1, a 3-run home run here in the bottom of the 3rd. Puts the Hofstra Pride up by 5 on the James Madison Dukes.
The 3-run homer by Alaka. And that will put her probably at the top of the chart for the potential most outstanding player, at least in my mind, in this tournament. And Edwards, who is 2 for 2, at the plate next. So the Pride putting the top-seeded Dukes on the ropes here late in this ball game. Ground ball hit to the first base side, and recovering is ROADCAP to get back. Nyokas got to it for the assist. 2 outs in the inning. SCARPATO 1 for 1 with a run scored. Kind of a check swing. I don't know if she was trying to slap it or what, but it ends up popping up in the air for the final out of the inning. But another 3-run homer. The Pride, the hammering Hofstra Pride, takes a 6-1 lead. Going to the 6th, only 2 left for the Dukes. 2 innings left for the Dukes. But the Pride has another idea. We'll be back with more here in just a moment. You're watching the CAA Softball Championship Tournament on Sports Live. Hofstra Pride using the long ball today. 3 home runs, 2 of those by Alaka. A 3-run blast. She's got 4 RBIs in this game with her 2 homers, and then a 2-run blast from Michalowski. And Dandola, who has given up just 1 run, and it's unearned on 7 hits, faces the bottom 3 of the order here in the 6th. So Dandola can set it up very well for her pride here with a good inning. And she'll start off Cutright outside with ball 1. Cutright 1 for 2 with a single to left. Actually, single to shortstop, left side of the diamond. Same side of the diamond. This time it's to Paterno, who's been sparkling at third base.
JMU won out there, but they are no stranger to multiple run innings. They had 14 in the first inning yesterday alone. They just need 5 to tie this one up, but it's going to take a lot of swings and a lot of hits for them to be able to turn those runs and get them going.
There were JMU fans in the stands last night. I could hear them saying, can we save some of these for tomorrow? You know, and they knew that Hofstra was in the driver's seat. Pitch is high, ball 1 to Nyokas, who is 0 for 2. Hofstra trying to deny James Madison its 3rd consecutive CAA title. Hofstra's last championship was won right here in 2015. 1-1. And the strike.
Yeah, Hofstra winning 23 of the last 26 regular season or conference tournament championships. JMU coming in and kind of raining on their parade starting back in 2009.
Ground ball up the middle, base hit off the bat of Nyokas. Dukes have a 1-out base runner in the 6th. And that's 8 hits.
Give Nyokas her first hit of the tournament. Like I said before, every time Nyokas has reached base, she scored. So maybe a little good luck here for JMU with just 1 out.
Popped up by Samuels. Transue calls for it. Squeezes the 2nd out of the inning. Morgan Toll comes up again. JMU winning the title last year against the Pride and beating Towson in 2016. Hofstra beating the Dukes 2-1 in 2015 for the title. And Toll, who is 1 for 3, or 1 for 2 rather, fouls it back. She was also hit by a pitch. Madison won it in 2014. Lost 2-1 again to the Pride in 2013. So Madison with its 6th consecutive appearance in the title round. But Hofstra certainly has had its share. In fact, from 2002 to 2008, the title belonged to the Pride. And for Toll, it's a fly ball to left field. Michalowski covering the ground with grace, and the putout of the Dukes senior 3rd baseman from the top of the order. So nothing across for the Dukes in the 6th. Hofstra maintains a 6-1 lead as we continue here on Sports Live, the 2018 CAA Softball Championship Tournament. Nikki Michalowski starts it off, strike 1 from JMU's Peyton Bresch.
Michalowski back at the plate with a home run back in the 4th inning.
You stole my thunder.
Down the left field line.
Let's hope that's the only thunder we have today.
Hopefully.
1 ball, 1 strike. It is a gorgeous day in the Valley. It's taking a little time to get here as far as the good weather is concerned, but I think maybe the temperatures will stay. Well, it's supposed to be to 90 tomorrow, I hear. Yes.
It'll be a hot one.
Ground ball up the middle, knocked down by Nyokas. She does not have a play. Well, she did manage to flip it over. A leadoff single for Michalowski, who was 2 for 3 with that base hit.
That was a great play in the field by Nyokas. You see it here. That one was hit straight up the middle and making a diving save, and she's able to keep that one in front, avoiding Michalowski from possibly taking second base.
Paterno 0 for 2. She has been sparkling at third base all week. Pops it up into foul ground, and that is a catch for KIERSTIN ROADCAP on the home turf.
ROADCAP with a great catch for the first out of the inning.
Kate MUSA comes up. MUSA 1 for 2 with a single to left. Pitch low for ball 1. NCAA tournament gets underway next weekend around the country. And hopefully both of these teams will get a chance to represent the Colonial Athletic Association. Certainly we know the winner will. Again, the selection show Sunday night, ESPN2. Always fun to watch the field revealed. And a strike.
It's always nice to have more than just one team representing the league as well when you get to NCAA tournament time, and JMU Hofstra both doing their part this year to get up to that point where they are potentially both could earn an at-large bid no matter who wins this.
That's turned on. MUSA. Pride up to 10 hits with the Michalowski single to start the inning. 1-2. Just missing. That twirled in, but inside. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
MUSA, her batting average at .281. She's actually improved that by more than .130 since the beginning of April. She's been hitting in 15 games since then, including 6 multi-hit performances, and she's already got 1 hit today.
Well, jam shot and backhanded, but foul the bag at third, Morgan Toll. This is one of the seniors, along with Michalowski and Petra Fessa. Transue, a redshirt senior. Malaka, a senior. Edwards, Paterno. Down the line, but foul. 2-2.
We missed a substitution out there in left field. Logan Newton is now in for Sydney Lascola.
We ought to learn that every time the lineup is presented the way that it is, if there is a pitching change, Newton's probably going to go out there, at least a change defensively for the Dukes to compensate for keeping Alexander in the game. On the run, the catch by Gordon. Here's the throw back to first, and safe diving in just in time is Michalowski.
Great heads-up play there by Kate Gordon. She hustled for that ball, caught it, saw how far Michalowski was from first base still, and just rifled one in there, unfortunately just a second too late.
Michalowski, I don't blame her for getting out there. That ball looked like it was tailing away from Gordon. You don't necessarily get many opportunities to see what kind of speed Gordon has, but you saw it there. But of course, she's been playing probably with a glove and ball since she was in the crib after leaving the hospital. Let's see if she can get to this one, and she will not as it gets over her head. A base knock at the very least for Transue, and she'll hold at first base while Michalowski will race over to third with the 2-out single.
So that put runners on the corners once again for the Hofstra Pride.
That's 11 hits for the Pride also. And back to the top of the order for the 4th time. Hallam singled last time up and scored a run. She was aboard during the Alaka 3-run smash. That's inside for ball one. Hofstra closing in on not only a CAA title, but a 40-win season once again. JMU with 41 victories. (2-0). And again, in my conversation with Loren LaPorte earlier in the tournament, she made mention one time, she said she looked at Jennifer Hersig, her assistant coach, said, how have we won 40 games? I mean, with as many injuries and moving people around.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of fans, quite honestly, Bree, you know, when it was learned that Megan Good was not going to pitch this year, or play this year, I think some folks thought, okay, this is a real test. Can the Dukes sustain the success they have enjoyed the last couple of years with Good in the circle? Well, that has been answered.
Yeah, I think they definitely have had that success. Not as much success as they would like, but they still only 11 losses on the season in the rankings, receiving votes almost every single week this season. And that's what they only have 15 healthy players. They've had to fight through so much adversity this year, pitchers and outfielders, and they've really done their job.
Ground ball right up the middle, and we'll change the score again as racing in with the 7th run, Michalowski. She touches the plate for the second time today, make it 7-1. The Hofstra Pride. And this is getting dangerous. Dangerously close to termination. And if that's the case, then the Pride will give a little payback to the Dukes from this Friday last year. As you've got, really the winning run is at first base at the moment.
Yeah, the Pride could end this one early with just a knock of a bat. If she could get both runners around or even a home run here, will give the Pride the victory and the championship.
Petrofessa is at the plate, 1 for 3.
Petrofessa does have 13 home runs on the season.
Outside, 1-1. To go back and do some research. The last time Madison suffered a run rule loss, that's been extremely rare. In fact, when the Dukes lost back-to-back games early in the season, let's see, when was it? It was during the spring fling in Honolulu. It was the first time since the LSU back-to-back losses in 2016 that the program suffered back-to-back losses.
Yeah, JMU not one of those programs that you see suffering back-to-back losses. You know, they're so used to winning and so much success on the field. Less than 10 losses every season over the past couple of seasons. You know, more than 10 this year, but definitely a little uncharacteristic, but something you would expect out of this year's squad. You know, with so many injuries faced, you know, it's still such an accomplishment, the record that they have accomplished to this point.
Petrofessa with a full count. Just got my credentials for the lacrosse tournament. From one to the other. Here's the payoff pitch, and it is swung on. We'll get a chance to do it again. Larissa Anderson, she is playing carom ball off the dugout on the third baseline.
Say every coach this weekend on the first and third baseline, they've gotten quite a workout.
You have to do workouts. You have to stay loose and limber to coach first or third in softball.
You never know when a rifle's just going to come right at you.
Off-speed pitch has Petrofessa swinging underneath it. So we know we'll at least go to the 7th inning. But another run comes across for the Hofstra Pride on 3 more hits. As it is, Pride 7, Dukes 1 here on Sports Live. 7-1 for the Pride of Hofstra. And for the Dukes here in the 7th, they've got a rally, big rally. See if they can come up with a few of the runs like they did last night. And they've got a long way to climb, though. Jubas, Gordon, and ROADCAP scheduled to face Dandola, who's looking for the complete game.
Dukes do have 1 run, however, that is an unearned run.
Jubas starts off low for ball 1.
Jubas singled in the first, reached on a error in the third, got a double, and grounded out in the fourth.
Dukes do have 8 hits, but they've been scattered about a bit, 2-0. They did have 2 hits in the first, but that was disrupted a bit by the interference. 2 hits in the fourth, but those came with 2 outs. Those are the only multi-hit innings. Ground ball to the shortstop, Hallam, long throw, and one shortstop retires the other. 1 away in the 7th. Stick around, because if this does hold, we'll have a little post-game celebration and recognition here from Veterans Memorial Park.
Yeah, Hofstra did a really good job today of, when runners were on base, making sure that they crossed home plate and scoring them, whether that be by hits or home runs. JMU, they've scattered hits, but they haven't been able to string anything together to get runners to cross the plate.
Ball 1 high to Gordon. Yep, only 4 runners stranded, and 2 of those in the last inning. Only 4 runners stranded, so if they get runners on, they're getting them in. And the home run ball has meant much the difference. That's turned on, but foul by Gordon. 1 ball and a strike.
These few games between these two teams have been quite different from last week's series. JMU was the one who hit 13 of the 17 home runs in that series, and Hofstra, JMU only 1 home run between these 2 games. Hofstra already with around 5 or 6 home runs.
And a called strike, 1-2. Hofstra getting oh so close to some more hardware to take back to Hempstead. Gordon gets underneath it, lifts it to left field. It is deep enough for the home run for Gordon.
Kate Gordon giving the Dukes a little bit of life here in the top of the 7th. 1 out. She brings them a little bit closer, but they're still trailing by 5.
She has her 13th round tripper of the year. Look at it, Morgan Toll will finish her career as the single season record holder at Madison with at least 18 and maybe some more games to play. But you're looking at Gordon with 13 home runs and Alexander with 15 coming back next year. That single season, if they continue to stroke it the way they are, that single season record might be in jeopardy in the near future.
Yeah, JMU has a really, really strong sophomore class. I would look for them to only improve over the next 2 seasons and break a lot of records.
Strike 1 to ROADCAP. Yeah, this is a pretty gritty sophomore group when you look at it overall. Pitch is high. Just like this is a very seasoned senior group for the Hofstra Pride. And this is where the Pride was a couple of years ago with this, when the team was predominantly sophomores.
I was going to say, you can turn it around and say in 2 years, you know, JMU, they're going to be just like Hofstra Pride, you know, with all those seasoned veterans that you have coming back to our sophomores this year.
Fouled back.
A lot of those sophomores got a lot of playing time last year as freshmen.
They did,
Kate
yes.
Gordon, ROADCAP, ODICCI Alexander, you know, and playing all 4 years, they can only get better.
Nyokas, the second baseman.
Cambry Arnold, however, she's out with an injury second half of this season.
And that stroke to the left side. Yeah, without Arnold, you lose that slap leadoff hitter, which you'll see a lot of teams employ that. But, of course, Dukes have proven they've been sluggers this year. But the Hofstra Pride have been slugging equally so in this CAA tournament. And low for a ball, 2-2. 7-2 our score. Sometimes getting the last couple of outs in a championship game seem to be the hardest when you're out there getting ready to celebrate. Back out of play. It's 2-2.
Kurt, I wouldn't be surprised if Brittany Alaka was a player of this tournament. She went 3 for 4 against JMU yesterday, and then with a home run and another 2 home runs today. She's over there at first base right now and having an outstanding tournament for the Hofstra Pride.
She'd get my vote. I'm sure they're voting on some of that right now. We'll see if we can get that for you in the post game. Also, 2 balls, 2 strikes. That popped up. And it's going to drift out of play, although the entire left side of the defense for Hofstra trying to push the fence out of the way to get to that ball.
They would have liked to have done that, get a quick second out.
Hallam over there, Paterno, Michalowski, all gathering. Give it a shove, but falls harmlessly to the earth. 2-2. And heads up, there you go. This time ducking is LaPorte.
LaPorte just getting out of the way of that one, really having to work to dodge that. Take a deep breath after that one.
I think her heart rate just went up. She's had to dodge a few here last couple of weeks. Here we go, watch this again. See, I told you had to be limber and loose.
Gotta have some great reflexes to be able to be a base coach in softball.
Play a little limbo. 2-2. 1 out in the inning. And that one makes its way through. ROADCAP has her 3rd hit of the game.
That brings up Odyssey Alexander to the plate. Could the Dukes possibly finally be able to string some hits together and get some runs across? It's gonna take quite a few hits and 5 runs, but they've got 2 outs to work with.
That's the second time the Dukes have back-to-back hits, but the first time it has come so with less than 2 outs. So Larissa Anderson gonna go out and talk to Dandola. Still some room to work with, 7-2.
So she's gonna leave Dandola out there, just probably telling her to calm down a little bit. Only 2 outs, take it 1 batter at a time, and you know, championship is theirs.
ROADCAP had a 4-hit game against Hofstra back on April the 29th, and she has a 3-hit game here today. And for ROADCAP, that is her 3rd 3-hit game of the season. Alexander up 1 for 2 with a hit by pitch.
Singled and RBI'd in the 3rd and struck out in the 5th.
It is 7-2, but this is a big batter because, you know, if Alexander can come up with something pretty big, well, the momentum starts to swing, and momentum is huge in athletics.
Yeah, especially when these 2 teams match up, momentum swings have been everything. You know, every single game has been back and forth, back and forth. This is the first game where one team has really dominated over another one, and if JMU can get some momentum, who knows what may happen.
1-1, and that's to left field, and it is out of here.
And there's that momentum. It's coming back JMU's way. A 2-run home run by Odyssey Alexander, bringing the Dukes to within 3, 7-4. Hofstra leads. Only 1 out in the top of the 7th.
And the Alaka 3-run homer was certainly big to make it 6-1 at the time, and the run that came across with Michalowski in the 6th, that's all looming large at the moment, as Alexander has her 16th home run of the year, and Larissa Anderson is going to make the change.
Sophie Dandola, she comes out. Great performance by Sophie Dandola. She pitched 5 scoreless innings, only giving up 4 runs off of 11 hits. 3 of those earned, and that's going to bring in Sarah Cornell.
Cornell, yeah, the pitcher of the year.
Okay, pitcher of the year. She comes in at 2.37 ERA, 23-7 win-loss record in 39 appearances. She's pitched 207 innings, 228 strikeouts, a huge strikeout pitcher, 64 walks on the season. She has given up 28 home runs, so really similar to Odyssey Alexander in that they do both give up a lot of home runs. Could be good news for the Dukes there a little bit, but batters do only hit 193 against her, so she is very difficult to hit off of.
And see, that's a good point there. Batters, opponent's hitting only 190, but she does give up the home runs, and it's a matter of squaring it up. She comes in with the velocity just like Alexander does, just like Megan Good does. If you do square it up, the ball does all the work for you. And I think that's one thing Morgan Toll, she hasn't bulked up in the weight room the last several years. She certainly has toned up, but she has just learned how to make a nice smooth stroke. I think Morgan Toll would be a great golfer, just simply because you don't necessarily have to go over there and muscle it all the time. You just let your tools do a lot of the work.
I was going to say, Kate Gordon, her home run earlier in this inning actually looked like she could be a golfer as well. She kind of squared up on that one and took that one all the way underneath and to the left field.
So 2 homers in the 7th for the Dukes, has Madison within 3 once again, but it's 7-4, 2 outs to go in the 7th. And the called strike against MROZEK for Cornell. The pitcher of the year in there for a strike.
Cornell doing a good job of coming out here. Lots of energy, getting ahead in the count. 0-2. That's what you want to see when you have a pitcher coming in relief.
And MROZEK cuts on it. It's back out of play. Sure, a lot of alums from both programs also sitting in the stands rooting on their teams today. That's inside. 1-2. Cornell with the 1-2 pitch. MROZEK watches it inside. That evens the count.
We've seen this all weekend long. Pitchers getting into a 0-2, getting ahead in the count, but batters always fighting back into it and, evening the count 2-2 and even making it a full count.
And there is the full count. We'll go back just 2 batters, and ROADCAP fouling off a number of pitches, eventually singling up the middle, and that sets it up for Alexander to deliver. But MROZEK in a similar situation with Cutright on deck. And yeah, Natalie is on deck indeed, although looking down there, I see Coach LaPorte looking in her book. And ball 4.
And that one gets the crowd on their feet here at Veterans Memorial Park. Dukes have another one aboard, bringing Cutright to the plate.
All right, all due respect right now to MROZEK, but here's a case of where the Dukes, with the injuries and what have you, do not have pinch runners. They just do not have the depth to do that. Otherwise, MROZEK probably is on the bench right now.
Yeah, her and Cutright gets aboard as well. I'd like to say the 2 of them, they would lift 4 pinch runners, but unfortunately, they don't have the necessary players to be able to do that.
There's strike 1 to Cutright. And so you may be wondering, why do you have not necessarily your speed out on the bases? Well, you don't have the option.
Yeah,
and that is 1-1.
So that's going to, stop the Dukes. So, they might not be as aggressive on the base paths either as they would have been in a different situation with that speed.
Well, the thing is, for Madison right now, these are going to score naturally if the Dukes are going to rally back. They check the swing. Very difficult to call that from way out there at second base, 2-1. but that speed also could be the difference of a bang-bang play. But that's what the Dukes are dealt.
Especially with this defense of Hofstra, you know, they're so good.
Yes.
7th in the nation, I've said it twice before, you know, they're going to get you in any way they can.
Two balls, 2 strikes to Cutright. 1 out, 3 across in the 7th. Duke's not going down quietly. Hofstra trying to get these final couple of outs. And Cutright fouls it off again. Both teams. You can see the competitiveness of Cornell in the circle. You can feel the competitiveness on both sides of the diamond.
Neither team wanting to let this game go. They both want to win it so bad. JMU, they want to force that second game. Hofstra, they don't want to play a second one.
There's ball 3.
And we see once again another batter has worked the count full. Cornell, she just came in. This is just her second batter faced, already up to 6 pitches.
Madison Niokis is on deck. Cutright holds off, and it is ball 4.
Sarah Cornell comes into the game and immediately, first 2 batters she faces, she walks them. That's going to bring Niokis up. She had her first hit of this tournament the last time at bat. Can she continue that?
No, these pitches haven't been well off. When we saw Cornell struggle in the start yesterday, she was really high in the zone. She's just missing outside. And give the Dukes, both MROZEK and Cutright, credit for being very disciplined at the plate. And there were a couple of pitches there that you could see the batters flinching.
I was going to say ROADCAP and the JMU dugout getting out, getting the fans on their feet in this one.
A lot of nerves on both sides, but for different reasons at the moment. Niokis at the plate for the Dukes. There is a strike right down the heart of the plate. Niokis with a single. Last time up, she is 1 for 3. But she represents the tying run. Not one of the power hitters, but she is capable of putting one out. And that's a strike, 0-2. Cornell getting ahead of the 3rd batter she faces. Actually, she got ahead on MROZEK as well.
And Niokis, she comes in, she's got 4 home runs on the season, 3 doubles, 13 RBIs.
And she swings and misses for the strikeout.
It's going to bring up senior Ashley Samuels. Samuels, she's got 5 home runs this season, 25 RBIs. She's got 7 doubles and 22 hits, hitting at a .207, striking out once, popping out once, and 1 single. She's 1 for 3 today.
She is the number 9 hitter in the JMU order. 1 out remaining for the Dukes to keep this one going. 1 out remaining for the Hofstra Pride to hoist a trophy.
Say Cornell not looking like she walked those 2 batters. 4 strikes straight in a row, just needing 2 more.
There it is, strike 2.
And the JMU Dukes are down to their final strike here.
So we come to our first game point, if you would. The 0-2, Samuels at the plate. Strike 3, and it is hammering Hofstra with the title in 2018 as the trophy will return to Hempstead.
The Hofstra Pride, they've taken a conference championship, tournament, or regular season championship in the 24 of the last 27 seasons. As they do take this one from the JMU Dukes, going undefeated in this tournament, winning 3 games, losing none, winning this last one by a score of 7-4.
Well, no pride piles out there, but there are a lot of really strong hugs for the Hofstra Pride. Congratulations to the Pride. This has been a tremendous series, both in the regular season and here in the postseason between these 2 programs. And this is just another chapter, just another story, as I'm sure there is more to come in the years ahead between Hofstra and James Madison in CAA softball. So congratulations again to Larissa Anderson, as at the helm she captures her second CAA title as the head coach of the Hofstra Pride. In fact, Coach Anderson, get ready, Coach. Time for a bath. And now she celebrates with her Pride team as well. JMU's Odyssey Alexander, all-tournament team. A couple of others from James Madison. Sarah Jubas earning all-tournament team as a rookie. And you could probably guess who the other one is.
I was going to say, I have a little inkling of who I think it might be.
And Morgan Toll of JMU as well. So 3 all-tournament team members for JMU. For the Hofstra Pride, Sarah Cornell. Got the save here today. She is the CAA Pitcher of the Year, so she'll add another trophy to the mantelpiece, or to the mantle. Brittany Alaka of Hofstra, named all-tournament. And Sarah Edwards of Hofstra. And the most outstanding player is Sophie Dandola.
Sophie Dandola led the Hofstra Pride to 2 victories over the James Madison Dukes and the #1 seed in this tournament. She had an absolutely great couple of games pitching, keeping them off the board today. Only 1 run allowed in 6 innings.
So the runner-up, of course, James Madison, finishing second this year, and so the stretch of 2 consecutive comes to a conclusion for JMU. And the title does return back to Hempstead, as the CAA is congratulating the Pride of Hofstra University as the CAA champs won here in Harrisonburg for the 2nd time by the Pride. And the captains with Joey D.
Captains, and looks to appear to be their senior class.
That's right, just say seniors, how about that? So they are the champs in 2018, the Pride of Hofstra University. They'll find out Sunday night just where and when and who they will play in the NCAA tournament. Congratulations to both teams on outstanding seasons, and hopefully James Madison gets a chance to play a little bit more as well. Want to thank the sports information directors for both programs. Of course, the staff at James Madison University, Melissa Wyant, as well as Caroline Sobick, and Jason Craig for his work here this past week. Also, Amanda Gassell of Hofstra University with her great notes that helped us to keep up to date and give you all the information on these teams throughout our coverage here, including today on Sports Live. Bree, it's been a great tournament and really kind of what we anticipated in terms of the overall competition. We did see some minor upsets. I don't believe in upsets when it comes to softball or baseball because, you know, you play a lot of games, and you know, if you lose one here or there, that's going to happen. You can't go undefeated. But it was an exciting tournament all the way around.
Yeah, it was great play by all 5 teams who came out here to Harrisonburg, Virginia, especially these top 2 teams. Made it such great battles throughout the weekend, and now they both just have to, sit back and prepare for postseason, and hopefully JMU, they get that at-large bid, and we'll see where they're both placed come Sunday night.
We are indeed back at Veterans Memorial Park, and we're going to send you down for a little more post-game here as Bobby Broyles has a couple of the champions of CAA softball. Bobby?
Thanks a lot, Kurt. Down here with one of the seniors, Brittany Alaka, part of the 2018 CAA softball champions. First of all, congratulations. 2 home runs today. It's been an offensive show for this squad all tournament long. Talk about your 2 at-bats today.
Well, the first one I had a bit of a jitters going on, tournament championship game. Then the second 2, I just relaxed, and I knew that if I swung at strikes and I was aggressive, then something good would happen.
You guys have taken so many different approaches throughout this tournament. Obviously, the first game at Towson, very patient, able to put up 9 runs without many hits, and then the last 2 here, it's been really a slugfest. What is every game? What has been the approach for this team offensively?
Be aggressive on strikes. Lay off the balls, swing at strikes. Do our thing, just like we do every day.
What does it mean to you, being a senior, to come here and win the CAA softball championship?
Oh, it's everything. I've been dreaming about this since I was a little kid. We did it my freshman year, and now we're doing it again my senior year. It just feels so great to do it as a team again.
Congratulations,
Thank
Brittany.
you very
Go celebrate
much.
with your team.
Thank
I'll bring
you.
your coach in here. Coach, another amazing performance, especially at the plate. You guys stayed aggressive all tournament long. Talk about this team winning another CAA softball title.
I mean, it means the world. It means the world to our university and our alumni. And I think what's most special about this one is every single Hofstra alumni that has graduated from Hofstra has won a championship ring since 1989, and that means more to me than anything. We did this for our university and for the alumni, and everyone put their banner up on the wall, and I'm just proud to be able to bring it home.
It's definitely a great accomplishment for the university. Talk about the decision going with the freshman in the circle today, Dandola. She did a great job.
She impressed me yesterday, and she keeps the ball down, and she's tough to hit. So she's going to roll out a ton of ground balls, and I know we play great defense. So it's just a matter of we're going to keep riding her until they started to get on time, and it was time to make that change.
Now, obviously, you guys were so aggressive at the plate all week long. A lot of runs on the board, and a big part of that was Brittany Alaka with 3 home runs in the tournament. Talk about her being one of the seniors, being able to step up.
And it's all our seniors, but I have so much faith in them. They've worked so hard. They've had the experience. The senior class has the experience of winning a championship before. So really it's just a matter of let the game come to you, swing at good pitches, and don't try to do too much. And if the ball's going to be over the heart of the plate and you put a good swing on a good pitch, it's going to go.
Coach, going back to the NCAA tournament, you said yesterday when you guys are playing Hofstra softball, you can beat anyone in the country. How much are you looking forward to now you get the automatic bid in the NCAA tournament? What damage do you think this team can do?
We're going to play, and we could beat anybody in the country, and it's just a matter of going out and playing our game and not playing against someone, the name across the T-shirt. We don't care who we're playing. We just got to make sure we're playing our game and not trying to do too much and let the game come to us.
Coach, congratulations. Send it back up to you, Kurt.
All right, thank you very much, Bobby Broyles, as we continue with our post-game coverage here at JMU's Veterans Memorial Park, as she received some more high fives. And I think the point that she made there is every member of the Hofstra softball program since 1989 has had a chance to wear at least one championship ring, and she is smiling wide thinking about that.